Okay, welcome back. This is video number 3 in the series where we're talking about lead conversion and what it takes to take a cold contact and turn it into a hot client. Now, that is the focus and emphasis of our video today. In the previous video, we talked about having a lead generation system that's producing leads while you sleep. If you haven't watched that, go check that out. The first video in the series was talking about business systems and why you're missing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars of commissions if you don't have the proper business systems in place. So, same concept. If you haven't watched that one, you're missing out. Go check that out. Now, there was a groundbreaking study that was done by Google where they came up with 3 numbers that have really transformed the way that marketing is done online. And those 3 numbers are 7, 11, and 4. Now, here's what those numbers mean. They found that this is the average process of what it takes for a buyer to familiarize themselves with a brand before making a purchase. And so they normally consume 7 hours of content, and that could be websites, social media, ads, emails, etc. So 7 hours of content, 11 touch points from the brand, and across 4 platforms. So 7 hours of content, 11 touch points, and across 4 platforms. Now, the reason why that is so relevant is because it absolutely transforms the way that we need to be thinking about lead conversion and lead follow-up. Gone are the days where we can set up one ad on Facebook, generate one lead, make one phone call, and it turns into one transaction. Those days are gone because buyers are doing things differently. And so today I'm going to be sharing with you exactly the follow-up system that I call the 7, 11, 4 follow-up system. And I'm going to be unveiling why YouTube is such a critical component as the secret weapon of this master strategy. Those videos on YouTube are part of the secret sauce that are going to help you turn these cold leads into committed clients. So, as we jump into this, the concept of 7, 11, and 4 is the foundation of our lead follow-up system. It explains why buyers and sellers of real estate are taking tons of time educating themselves before they ever even get in contact with a real estate agent. See, over the last 15 to 20 years, the buyer and seller journey has changed dramatically. 15 or 20 years ago, buyers and sellers did not have the same amount of information that they have access to today. And as a result, they were a lot more dependent on the real estate agent for their knowledge, their advice, their expertise, and their information. Whereas in 2025, the buyer and seller journey is dramatically different. They are consuming a lot more content. They're doing searches. They're using AI. They're doing virtual home tours. They're doing so many things different that didn't exist 15 to 20 years ago. And again, here's the key. They're doing so much of that before they ever reach out to you, the real estate professional. Remember how we talked about in real estate that over 80% of transactions require 5 or more follow-ups? This is why when the average agent does 2 or 3 touch points to try and convert a lead, it's just inadequate to get the results that they're looking for. And the truth is that to a large extent, text and email alone is not sufficient to generate lead conversions. Why? Well, because the missing element is trust. And that's why the major paradigm shift that you need to go through is changing your mindset from follow-up mindset to trust building mindset. See, the truth is, it's not just about persistence and how many contacts you're making just to hit a certain number. And when it comes to building trust, there really is no level of content that is better than video to accomplish that purpose. So, how do we get someone to consume 7 hours of content to build trust? Well, one of my favorite strategies for that, as I've mentioned, is YouTube videos. So let me share with you an example. Here's an example of a video I just found at random I was searching for how to buy your first home. So somebody finds this and they watch it. Now, when we're talking in context of the 7 hour strategy, one of the things I love to do is use your emails and text touch points to refer to valuable content that they can watch and start building towards that 7 hours. So here they can come and watch this video, and it's about 11 minutes. Now, you're probably thinking, well, 11 minutes, Kevin, that's really shy of 7 hours. And you would be correct. But this is also where things get really exciting, because if you push them to YouTube, to your channel, they're going to see a piece of content that not only really helps them, but helps push them towards the 7 hours of content. But here's where it gets really exciting. When they get to the end of the video, YouTube is going to recommend other videos. And I think I already did it, so it's not pulling up. I'm just going to refresh. Sorry, now there's an ad. All right, so when we get to the end of the video, typically within the last 20 seconds, there's going to pop up a recommendation of another video to watch. So see how it's now recommending a new video to watch? And also, if you scroll, it's going to be recommending other videos. So see, here's another one of her videos that you can go watch. And this is how you can start building a lot of trust, that with the one touch point where they reach out and watch one video, see, YouTube is likely to recommend another video, and if they liked this one, they're likely to watch another one. And so with one touch point, you may very well get them to watch an hour's worth of content, especially if you're answering the questions that they have about what it looks like to buy a home in today's market. Home affordability is a huge question. Interest rates is a huge question. Closing costs are a huge question. What are the best times to sell? Best times to buy? What neighborhoods are the most affordable? And on and on and on. And so when you create that kind of content and we use your follow-up process to push people to that content, think of all the major things that are happening. They're getting expert advice from you from the video, and that builds trust. They're becoming more and more familiar with you so that they know, like, and trust you and want to work with you. That's powerful. And at the very least, they're getting further and further into the 7 hours of content that they need to consume to get to that point of doing business with you. Now, you may be wondering, what are the best types of content for this purpose? We have found that market update videos are very powerful and valuable for demonstrating your expertise. Videos that walk people through the process just to remove any kind of uncertainty and answer their questions. Question and answer videos are very popular, just answering common objections. Client success stories, and these are powerful because when people can see that you've helped other people that have the same problems that they do, that builds even more trust. And 5, local types of content to position you as that local expert that they want to work with. Now, let's talk further about the second segment of that, which is the 11 touch points that are necessary. As part of your follow-up sequence, sure, we want to touch base and see what their motivation is, where they're at in the process, and how we can help, just to establish kind of a timeline of where they're at. But secondly, we want to be driving people to your content to get further and further into that 7 hours. And one of the ways that we can do that without being pushy is by using a simple text or email that's really as easy as, "Have you seen this?" And that's one way that you can reference video content in your emails and texts to drive people to consume that valuable video. And then, as part of our 11 touch points, we want to diversify how we contact people. Some of those contacts should be a video text, which I'm a huge fan of. Some of them should be emails. Some should be regular text messages. And some should still be a good old-fashioned phone call. Now, why do we still want to incorporate phone calls when we're trying to build systems? The reason why we want direct phone calls to be part of this process is because there's really nothing that compares to that personalized touch. Now, let's talk about the last component of this, which is the 4 platforms. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be on every single social media platform. That's not the message here. So there are 4 platforms that I would recommend: Facebook, YouTube, email, and then text or phone as your personal connection. In addition to that, we want to be weaving in a website. A website can also be a powerful platform to connect with people. And depending on the content on your website, that can be an additional channel that is powerful content for your people. And so all of these really come together in our lead conversion process. Why? Well, we can be running a Facebook ad to generate a lead. That lead then gets an email saying, hey, have you seen this video? They then go to YouTube and watch that and start consuming. Well, the video could drive them to your website. And now they're on their website checking you out and seeing properties that are available in the area. The next day, they might get an email with a valuable market update in it. And are you seeing the power of the culmination of all these things working together? The standard conversion in the real estate industry is around 1%. But can you see that when we weave all of these things together into one business system, how you can take your lead conversion, and many of our clients have gotten to 3, 4, even 5% conversion rates using this system. See, by having all of this content and all of these platforms available, you really just position yourself as the omnipresent real estate agent. You're everywhere, and everywhere they go, they see you. Now, let's put all of this together. One of the things we recommend right away with your 7, 11, and 4 lead conversion system is having your initial conversion video. The mistake a lot of agents make with that first video is they think that video needs to be all about them and why that person should want to work with you. But the truth is, that person likely doesn't know or care about you enough to really care about who you are yet. And so, the way that we really appeal to people and become that expert is making that first video a very high trust focused video. How do we do that? It's real simple. What are the biggest challenges and needs that your people are facing? And let's address that right up front. There's nothing that will build your knowledge and expertise faster than that. So it's action time. Here's your action step. Which element of the 7, 11, and 4 follow-up process do you need the most help with right now? Is it creating the 7 hours of content, mapping out the 11 touch points, or is it having 4 platforms that you have a powerful presence on? Now, if you'd like a more personalized blueprint of the 7, 11, and 4 for your specific business, then click on the button below to schedule your real estate assessment strategy call, and we can walk you through that. Now, in the final video in the series, we're going to be talking about the last of the business systems that every agent should have, and that is the database goldmine. We're going to be talking about how to turn your past clients and your sphere of influence into a perpetual revenue stream. You're absolutely going to love this one. So we'll see you on that video.